Okay. As you see there, we're getting on the road and over to Tampa. 5 o'clock in the morning. That's what time you gotta get up to get over there. Going over there to speak to the Hillsborough County Commission.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is David Kearns. I reside in Palm Bay, Florida. I come to you this morning. I want to thank Deputy County Attorney Mr. Odom for giving me this information that's up on your screen here.
Okay, we're out here in St. Cloud, after being on the road. And it's just occurring to me that, how arrogant the Hillsborough County Commission is.
The Board of County Commissioners, representing District 1, Sandra Marmon. Representing District 2, Victor Christ. Representing District 3, Les Miller. Representing District 4, Al Higginbotham. Representing Countywide District 5, Ken Hagan. Representing Countywide District 6, Kevin Beckner. Representing Countywide District 7, Mark Sharp. The County Administrator is Mike Merrill. Time is set aside at the beginning of each meeting for citizens to speak on any issue.
Your supervisor of elections office is dirty. I mean, that's what I've been saying over and over again. In not so many words, sometimes precisely that. They're stealing elections in Hillsborough County. And you people are sitting there and doing nothing about it. I mean, I've been saying that over and over again. And they just go on with what they're doing. It's an elitist body of bureaucrats and legislators, former legislators. And, you can say something like that, and then a minute later they bang the gavel, they're on the consent agenda, they vote on that, toot sweet, wham.
Motion carries 7-0.
I mean, it's just bureaucratic thuggery.
As well, and it's potentially an item that needs to be agended by our commission as well. So, if you please update us. Last speaker this morning, David Kearns.
Good morning. My name is David Kearns. I'm an author from Palm Bay, Florida, just across the state in Brevard County. I'm here concerning the irregularities in the Office of Supervisor of Elections for Hillsborough County, which I was made aware of in my research for my book, Rick Scott, Enemy of the State. During the election night, there were 38,000 ballots re-scanned back into the voting machines at the Falkenberg Road location. News of this made the major newspapers as well as the television stations. A county commissioner quoted in Tampa Tribune on November 4th saying, "There is no excuse. We spent all that money for those machines. They should work. I think heads are going to roll over this." Same article mentions the glitch ballots came in early voting places in 5 areas. The article states this represents more than half the early voter ballots cast in late October 2010. Numerically speaking, you're talking about 65% of the names on the Vietnam Memorial Wall. You get to the 38,000th name when you could walk 142 feet down that wall. This is no minor glitch. This represents a major amount, a major screw-up requiring a major investigation. We add this to the irregularities of this office coming in previous years. There has been no report broadly issued with regard to the Dominion voting machines as referenced in your commissioner's statement, heads will roll. No word indicating any inquiry has ever happened with regard to these ballots, which therefore remain tainted, thereby tainting the result, therefore tainting the election of our governor. We get the same we always get from Hillsborough County regarding the elections office since 2006, a promise that it shall never happen again, whereupon it does happen again, and this time much worse than ever. What can we expect here come November? Sorry, another glitch. 38,000. The number itself is not only large, it is also one that generates suspicion. If you add this total to Alex Zink's vote total, tallied by the Department of State, you bring these two contenders, Sink and Scott, within 0.5% difference in votes cast, 0.44% precisely, necessitating a recount which never happened. I call for an immediate investigation of the general election that was handled here in Hillsborough County. I have filed a complaint with the State Attorney General. It was handed over to the Department of State. I have sent inquiries to the U.S. Department of Justice. I ask all of you to do what is right and hold an inquiry yourselves. If there hasn't already been one, we in the other parts of the state haven't heard of anything about it. It's either a media blackout or nothing has been done. I call for all counties currently using Dominion voting machines, Premier, Diebold voting machines, whatever their names are at this time, in the state of Florida to abandon these systems until some accountability on the part of these companies, until we at the very least know precisely what happened here in Hillsborough County on these machines. I call for a system of mandatory auditing for every general election as proposed by Fair Voting Coalition. I'm just wrapping up here. We need to take back our democracy from the machines, the corporations who now control our legislators, our Department of State, our supervisors of elections, and our county commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Short.
I appreciate the gentleman's concern. I think we should all be very diligent in making sure that votes are counted and accurately counted. But we did refer your inquiry over to Supervisor Elections Office, which we don't have any jurisdiction over, and we have forwarded a basic response. It probably won't be satisfactory to you completely, but it did indicate that they identified the problem as a defective OSX tabulator unit. It was replaced. They checked it. They believe that it's working. But anyway, there has been an initial response to your inquiry, and then from that you can proceed with additional questions.
That closes the public comment portion of the agenda. Can we have a motion to approve the amendment? So moved. Motion, Commissioner Becker. For a second. Second, Commissioner Higginbotham. Please record your vote. Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Merrill, we have one item that was pulled for separate vote.
You know, and they just sit there and go on with their day. Each one of them is paid, God knows how. In my county, they're paid $60,000 a year. 2 hours work every 2 weeks. 60 grand. Something crazy like that. Well, the county commissioner does more than that. Well, I suppose the county commissioner takes the agenda packet and goes over it, goes and talks to constituents or whatever. But 60 grand? No. You have teachers making $35,000 a year for 12, 13 hours work every single day. And to have to spend my own money to drive over here, I mean, and get them to do their job. Now what they could do, while I'm thinking about it here, is they could adopt a resolution to demand that the Division of Elections look into their own elections. What you're going to hear them say this morning is, well, we don't run elections. We don't run them. Ooh. That's what they're going to say. We ain't got nothing to do with that. Okay?
Your comments. Last speaker this morning, David Kearns.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is David Kearns. I'm an author. I wrote Rick Scott, Enemy of the State. I was assured last time I came here that it had something in writing concerning the glitched election here in Hillsborough County that gave us Rick Scott. We are a year and 3 months since the events which resulted in the erasure of 38,000 votes, all from early voting, many from minority communities or locations where students vote. Events I feel are evidence of bad faith, a stolen election. Reviewing now, I've asked for an official explanation from our State Attorney General. She handed over to the Secretary of State. He resigned, perhaps rather than issue a statement or even feign an investigation. Question I asked 2 weeks ago, I asked Earl Leonard at the Supervisor of Elections Office in the presence of MIS Director Tim Bobanek and Chief of Staff Craig Latimer, July 21st of this year. I was told a ballot screw-up happened during the primary, not the general election. by Mr. Leonard. Neither Mr. Bobanek nor Mr. Latimer corrected him. He also told me that the events were done by 10:30 in the evenings, just absolutely contrary to the historic record. You take a deliberate statement like this, the word glitch, and you add some of these circumstances about the Supervisor of Elections Office here. I hate this. I'm a writer. I was going to write a book that was kind of just sniping at Tea Party Rick. And then I asked a simple question: how did he get elected? And this is what happened. I uncovered, not uncovered, I mean, this is Google. We had Buddy Johnson's tenure. You had millions of dollars apparently moved around. You had a federal investigation. You had an arsonist working for the Hillsborough Supervisor of Elections Office. You had $336,000 in transition costs were given to Ms. Busansky in order for her to clean up some of the mess. I don't think that was all that you guys voted on for that. Ms. Busansky died while undergoing her investigations. I hate to bring that up. I know a lot of you guys really adored her. You had Earl Leonard, who was given the position by Charlie Crist, and is a Republican taking over for a Democrat. And he promised these things would never happen again. And then you had the worst glitch in the history of voting, perhaps in the state, 38,000 votes. There's been no written report from the Secretary of State's office or anyone. I believe these machines by Dominion Voting are used to steal elections over and over again. I think they stole this one. Since there's no report, I can't go to county commissions and say, this happened, this is what happened, and here are the newspaper reports. County commissions and other parts of the state don't believe this happened. My own county commission was mystified that 38,000 ballots were tainted in this way. I just want to say one more thing and I'll finish.
Quickly, sir.
When elections are stolen in Florida, people die. We end up in needless wars. We end up in financial crises, the like of which we haven't seen the bottom of yet. We need to get rid of Dominion Voting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate your comments. We're highlighting your commendation A1 by Commissioner Merman that you should take now. Commissioner Merman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to highlight this to highlight the fact that the 20th Annual Apollo Beach Fantasy Festival of the Arts will be happening on Saturday and Sunday, March 10th and 11th. It's an in-bay showcase of fine arts and fine crafts that draws talent from all over the country. It's sponsored by the South Shore Chamber of Commerce and draws thousands of people to South County. They have exhibitors areas and a Children's Creativity Center, and I just wanted to make you all aware of this as we did approve to allow them to put funds in the right way.
They're going to say, we ain't got nothing to do with that, okay? Not our job. You know, it's this Beauregard, Thibodeau, old school attitude, this bureaucratic thuggery, like I said. So they could adopt, any time they could adopt a resolution to demand that division elections come in and look at their election. The one that happened November 2nd, 2010. But they won't do it. And why won't they do it? Well, sure. One of the reasons they won't do it is because I think between four of them were elected the night Rick Scott was elected. 4 of them were elected that night. And so it comes right down to, what's in it for me if I do that? You know, nothing in it for me if I find out the election was screwed up. You know, I mean, complete and total self-interest. Civic duty, you know, trying to determine whether or not our election systems are secure. I mean, here's the deal. They have 1 or 2 things happening there. They have machines which are so screwed up that they shouldn't be in use. Or somebody's rigging the elections, because it went like this. Leonard sent the material off and said, look, he sent the from the elections report, which, you know, that was the conduct of elections report was what I was looking for when I first went over there. But, well, you didn't say the magic words. Y'all should. You didn't use the flippity-flam on the flippity-flam word. You know, I asked the man direct, I said, look, is there any piece of documentation that I need to understand what happened? And he said, well, there's a report, but it isn't done. It isn't finished. Which was a lie. It was done. It was complete. I went to him in July. You know, they had a report dated March 3rd.